आइटम नंबर 30 केंद्रीय माल और सेवा कर। माननीय मंत्री जी।
Move that the bill further to amend the Central Goods and Services Tax 2017 be taken into consideration.
मंत्री जी कुछ कहेंगे?
So thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'll just put the context in which this amendment is coming in. So as you know, GST subsumed 17 taxes and 13 cesses, and it sort of bridged all the states and enabled trade. The number of taxpayers registered in the GST has almost doubled to 1.4 crores. I'm quoting June 2023 figures. And when it started in 2017, we had only 67.83 lakh taxpayers under the GST. So GST is actually bringing in a lot of advantage to the economy. The tax incidence under the GST has also been lower to what it was before the GST was introduced. So the current features, some of the best features which I can highlight, are that the RBI report itself, while talking about the state finances, as of January 2023, acknowledges that the northeastern states have been the biggest beneficiaries in the GST regime, and they have recorded a compound annual GST revenue growth rate of 27.5 since the implementation of the GST, as against 14.8 for all states. Almost all the GST Council's decisions have been through consensus, so this being the main feature, the need for the current amendment is something which I'd like to highlight. The section which is 109 of the Central Goods and Services Tax Act 2017, that is the CGST Act, provides for constitution of the GST Appellate Tribunal. The qualifications, the appointments and the terms of conditions for service of the President of the Appellate Tribunal and the judicial and technical members are specified in Act 110, which is the section 110 of the Act. And under the GST law, sir, the adjudicating orders are passed by the GST officers themselves from the centre and from the state, depending on the jurisdictions allocated. Whilst appeals against the orders passed by the adjudicating officers lie with the first appellate authority, who is an officer within the tax administration itself, belonging to the respective central and the state tax officers. The second appeal against the order of the first appellate authority under the centre as well as the state tax administration lies with the GSTAT, meaning GST Appellate Tribunal. This is the first forum, sir. The Appellate Tribunal is the first forum at which GST litigation process itself converges within the state. That is, appellate orders passed by the centre and the state GST officers become a part of the same appellate forum. So earlier in 2019, sir, the GST Appellate Tribunal benches were notified. We went ahead by notifying the benches, but the same was challenged in the High Courts. In its order dated 20th September 2019, in the writ petition of 2018, in the case of Revenue Bar Association versus the Union of India, Honourable High Court of Madras held as follows, and I quote, "The number of expert members, therefore, cannot exceed the number of the judicial members on the bench," unquote. So the High Court, Madras, struck down the section 109 and 110 of the CGST Act 2017. In August 2020-21, the tribunals, this is a parallel development which I draw your attention to. In August 2021, the Tribunal Reforms Act 2021 was enacted, by which the qualification and the selection process was standardized for all tribunals. By that time, there was no GST tribunal. But, as I said, it is a parallel development. In August 2021, the Tribunals Reforms Act was enacted, by which the qualification and the selection, the process itself was standardized for various tribunals. Given these developments, in its 47th meeting held on 28 and 29 June 2022 in Chandigarh, the GST Council discussed the changes required in provisions pertaining to the GST Appellate Tribunal in the GST laws so that it can be brought in conformity with the judgments of the court and in relation to the various aspects concerning all the tribunals. So in that meeting, the Council had decided to constitute a GOM to look into the issues involved, which was constituted on 6th July 2022. The report of the GOM was placed before the GST Council in its 49th meeting dated 18th February 2023, and post-approval of the GST Council, the CGST Act was amended by the Finance Act of 2023, wherein Sections 109 and Section 110 of the said Act was amended. As amended by the Finance Act 2023, the GST Appellate Tribunal shall contain one principal bench and various state benches which are to be notified. The principal bench will be or shall be located in New Delhi and shall have one president, a judicial member, a technical member that is belonging to the centre, and a technical member of the state. The state benches shall have two judicial members, a technical member centre, and a technical member state. State benches have also been already notified as of 14 September 2023. The qualifications of the President and members are also clearly notified. Thereafter, it was brought to the notice, and this is the important part of why this amendment is coming through. I've just set the background. The reason why this amendment is coming through is because it was brought to the notice of the Ministry by the Honourable Chief Justice of India in his administrative side through the Registrar of the Court that the following aspects of the service terms were not in consonance with the provisions of the Tribunal Reforms Act of 2021. I'll again try to draw the attention of the honourable members that the GST Appellate Tribunal is developing on its own parallelly to the tribunals, all other tribunals amendment acts which have happened, and now by drawing the attention of the honourable of the Ministry, the Honourable Chief Justice of India, in his administrative capacity, is trying to align the two, and therefore the 2 points on which the Chief Justice of India drew our attention is that the maximum age limit for the post of the President of the Appellate Tribunal and members is 67 and 65 years in the CGST Act, which we had cleared, under the Tribunal Reforms Act 2021. Under the Tribunal Reforms Act 2021, it is 70 and 67. Whereas what we brought in the CGST amendment was 67 and 65. Tribunal Reforms Act had 70 and 67 years respectively. The second point on which amendment became necessary is that the CGST did not have a provision relating to the eligibility of an advocate with a standing of 10 years at the bar for appointment as judicial member, whereas the same is available in the Tribunal Reforms Act, where these two were therefore taken up in the Council and they were approved by the GST Council. Under the Tribunal Reform Act, the advocate with standing of 10 years at the bar is eligible to be appointed in the as a judicial member. So these two particular and specific points which the Honourable Chief Justice of India highlighted, the issue of these two concerns were again placed before the GST Council in its 52nd meeting held on 7th October 2023, and the amendments to the Section 110 of the CGST Act, aligning the provisions with the Tribunal Reforms Act, were approved by the Council. So, accordingly, the CGST Second Amendment Bill, which is what is now before us, has been introduced in the Parliament on 13th December 2023, bringing the provisions of Section 109 and 110 of the CGST Act in line with the provisions of the Tribunal Reforms Act 2021. Sir, once this Honourable House passes this amendment bill, post amendments, the process of selection of the President and the members would be initiated. Honourable Chief Justice of India has already consented to chair the Search-cum-Selection Committee and has nominated Senior Judge Justice Sanjeev Khanna to chair the Search-cum-Selection Committee for selection of members, both judicial and member technical, which is the Centre's technical member. So this, therefore, is before us, and I humbly seek the support of all the honourable members to have this passed. Thank you.
श्री निशिकांत दुबे जी, आप वरिष्ठ संसद है।